Hello and welcome to Game Over Cast. On this episode, the Final Fantasy VII Remake is still coming someday. Pokemon goes to the movies, and up there, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's...
The intro!
Yeah?
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
When are you gonna learn that? No. I will keep this and use it as the intro.
No!
Done. Happy day for everyone.
Man!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Game Over Cast, episode
Hello.
48. You may have noticed that it is dark. That's because we were doing an audio-only show, and it is entirely my fault, because I am all kinds of sick right now.
Yes. You actually sound a lot better than you did.
The reason the show is late is because we were waiting till a point where I could talk without busting into a coughing fit, but specifically if the audio just cuts, it's because I didn't want you to hear all the goo. Because there's a great deal of goo right now. I'm at the stage of being sick where everything is kind of like coming out, which means I'm getting better, but like there's like all kinds of like how was that in my nose?
Oh, gross.
Or even worse, how was that in my throat?
Ew,
You know what I mean? Like,
I hate that. Yeah, it's the worst.
It's not good, but...
That's why I was like, please stay away from me for as long as possible because I do not want to get sick.
So we're gonna keep on trucking, but that's why the show is a little bit late, so apologies. And there's no video. Once again, my fault. Sorry. I got the crap kicked out of me during a convention this weekend, and it was bad. I work Comic Palooza, and I'm pretty sure, because we mentioned that you and me, but we're going to Frightmare the week before that. Yes. And I'm pretty sure I got a bug there, because I started feeling a bit under the weather, and then I don't know, anyone who went to Comic Palooza or lives in Houston knows that the city was underwater that weekend, and I had to work the con and like load stuff and cut to and fro in the rain. So I got really wet, and then I had to work all weekend. So it wasn't a good mix. Yeah,
especially like if you're already sick, doing a lot of loading in the rain, I'm sure that didn't help.
It did not help at all. At all, pardon me. But we're gonna go ahead and kick into this. So we'll rock and roll with some now playing, and I'm going to stop talking for a sec so I can heal. And Brittany, you go ahead and tell people what you're now playing.
Okay. What have I been playing? Well, I got back into Animal Crossing. Which
one?
New Leaf.
Please don't tell me. Okay, as long as it's the cell phone game.
Yeah, because I mean, Animal Crossing is one of those games that you can just. That's not accurate. I was going to say that you can just pick up and put down, and although you can
just pick it up and just hang on to it
You can just pick it up forever, and then you will be addicted forever, which I feel is what Animal Cropping...
Animal cropping.
Animal cropping, which is what...
I like that. Murdering the neighbors and putting them in the ground.
Oh, no! Which is how Animal Crossing is, but I'm super stoked I wish there was an actual release date for the Switch version, because I will be completely...
You're probably going to see one this
to
June,
my Switch.
I'm guessing.
I'm excited because I want that so bad. But Animal Crossing, yes. Though I haven't quite reached that point of crazy where I'm like, oh my god, today is Miffy's birthday. I must get on Animal Crossing and give Miffy a present.
Oh god.
So anyway.
Too far. Far too far. But...
Never. Not with Animal Crossing.
Oh man. So I have been playing the wonderful game of nothing. Because I've been in bed.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's fair. I'll give you a pass.
Okay,
I'll give you a pass.
The only thing I've done over the past couple days is actually, wait for it, guys, build Gundam models. That's been my life. I've been sleeping, and then I'll wake up and go to my little table and slowly just click together little pieces of plastic.
But dude, you finished one.
I did finish one, and I'll post a picture of it.
Yeah.
I finished my little Gundam Chimerus with its lance and its little thrusters, and I think I did a pretty good job, all things considered.
Good for you, because I know that you have a stack of them, and you've had that stack for like a year.
And the stack keeps getting bigger.
Yeah. So it's actually cool. I saw the one that you finished, and it actually looks really good. Yeah,
we're here at my place right now, and it's up on my mantle next to Swamp Thing. Looking pretty awesome. I didn't do the Swamp Thing. The Swamp Thing came that way. So just for the record, I'm just happy with the Gundam because I'm not artistically inclined at all. And I did a little bit of work. Like I did like all the panel lining on it and everything. And so I think it looks pretty good. It's not great, but it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. I'm actually working on a mass production model right now, a Yagen, which is this really nice, like kind of like mint green. It's weird. Like everyone loves the big shiny like hero suits. Like everyone loves the Gundams and and the Sinanjus and all the other like awesome things I don't need to name because if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you don't. But I like grunt suits, man. Like I love, like I've got a Yagen and I've got a Jiradoga and I'm getting the new Zaku too. Like I love just like the normal like soldiery suits. They just, I don't know, they're just something, they're nice. They're just like the losers, they're the cannon fodder, but they look cool. It's nice.
I also think, because I'm going to just slip it in there and give like a cool little shout out to these stores, that it is actually getting a lot easier to find Gundam models. And I think that that's really cool.
Thank you, sweet baby Jesus.
I know. And I know because like, I guess Gundam, there was a while when they had there was a lot of Gundam stuff, like there was a lot of Gundam games on the PS2, there was the Gundam game that came out on the PS4, and then I kind of feel like even before the PS4... There was the mighty
Bandai drought of the 2000s.
It was a little dry, and then it was hard to find that stuff, and then of course importing things, that gets expensive.
Very.
But yeah, I think it's really cool that you're starting to see them in more places.
Yep.
So
it's very nice to see that I'm not the only freak that likes Gundams out there. It's nice to see that there's a culture for it forming and that there are like actually establishments that you can drive to now and go to 24/7. It would be nice if certain people would understand that and come around to it and you know, be an enabler, but also a facilitator for mobile suits for the models. I'm not going to name any names here. I'm not going to name drop anything, but I mean, there is, you know, I like to hearken it to the great story of David and Goliath.
Oh my God.
Where there was one man trying to kill this giant monster, and that monster was just mobile suits, and just, you know, they need to be everywhere. We all need to come together. Man.
Oh man.
Man, that was some really bad cold medicine induced thing, but whatever. Moving on. So that's been my thing, but we will get into some news. I have a little bit of news, not a whole lot.
Yes.
I feel like there was a lot of news and I forgot it. This show is very kind of like clustery, kind of not good because I'm working on it while I'm under a lot of medication. So apologies once again. So they've caved. They're changing Sonic's look in the movie.
But did they say how they were changing Sonic's look?
Nope.
And honestly, I didn't feel like, okay, you can go ahead and shoot me, that's fine, but I don't feel like it was that bad.
It's pretty bad.
It was not that bad.
Like, I don't think it's that hard to fix where it, like, if they made his eyes a good bit larger, it would help. And if they maybe made his body a little bit more skinny.
What?
Yeah.
He's already super skinny.
Yes,
and it looks
but if
weird,
you look at video game Sonic,
a huge head.
Well, yeah, but that's video game Sonic. He's got a huge head and huge eyes.
Yeah.
He's weird looking.
But they're trying to make it look like a more, I guess, realistic Sonic.
And I hate it.
Like if he were to look realistic.
But realistic Sonic looks terrifying. That's
I feel like if he was any skinnier, he would look even more terrifying.
I think he'd look more accurate. I mean, at this point...
What?
Oh, but we'll see. But
he's already super skinny. I guess I can see what you're talking about with the eyes. I have to say, though, that trailer did make me laugh with the meow. Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's also a matter of... There's been a couple articles about this, how much they can change before the movie's released. Yeah. Because that's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
So they can't do, like, a complete overhaul because they just don't have the time.
When is the movie coming out?
I think holiday season. But
okay.
That's only, like, 6 months. And that's a lot. That's not a lot of time when you're having to, like, rework the central piece of visual effects for your entire film.
Well, I mean, if the only thing that they're fixing are the eyes, if they start... immediately, I feel like
it's going to be a lot of work.
It's definitely a lot of work. I'm not taking that away, but I just feel like it can be done.
We'll just have to see what happens.
Yes.
Okay, but there's that. Final Fantasy VII remake. Sony had their blatant ripoff of Nintendo Directs.
Yes.
Which is just...
It's fine.
Man, Sony just loves just like, hey, Nintendo can do it. We'll do it better.
I mean, they're both Japanese companies.
I know. It's just funny because
I feel like
sometimes they just don't even try.
I feel like it's not a problem that they borrow from each other. Like, who cares? You know?
When did Nintendo borrow from Sony? I hate this weird parallel universe where I have to defend Nintendo because they're doing things correctly for the first time ever.
You?
I'm sick. Matt likes Nintendo.
I just feel like, I don't know. Excuse me.
It's fine. I didn't mean to make a big deal out of it, but
I don't have an issue with any of the video game companies, honestly. I know that sometimes, like, we poke fun at Microsoft and whatever, and obviously Microsoft is definitely not...
Does Microsoft still make games?
Oh, stop.
Aww.
Microsoft is definitely not my go-to. Like, my go-to would be Sony, and then it would be Nintendo. And it has been, you know, it does flip-flop, but I feel like, I don't know, there's enough room in my heart for all the love.
There is, but I'm going to say this now, and I can use my sickness, my illness as an excuse if it comes back to me later, but I'm beginning to shift. Solely because Nintendo's giving their developers more creative freedom. That's a big bonus in my ballpark, like a big one. And it's like, man, the Switch doesn't look anywhere near as good as the PS4, and I'm beginning not to care.
I mean, I understand, but how bad is it really?
We'll see.
And you know, my belief is that it is actually not that bad. And you can't always believe everything that you hear. You know, there are always... One of my favorite quotes ever is an apology to the devil. There are two sides to
You just had to work Satan into something.
I have to. You know it.
Where's Mylon Secret Castle?
You know I
Brit?
do.
Is
Oh
it
my
gonna come
gosh.
along?
And then there's this game called Mylon Secret Castle, and it's amazing. You should play it. No, but really, it's an apology to the devil. There are two sides to every story, and God has written all the books.
Well, true, but when like Sony publishes something saying, yeah, we're making developers change the games for the children. I don't know how this keeps coming back to it.
I know.
It's like lame. Like it's just lame because now like they're changing like you know that game's title looks offensive. We're gonna change that. Like really? But it's whatever.
I mean, is it actually that? This is where I struggle. Is it actually that bad, or are people blowing it up to make it seem like
my point of view?
It's a lot more than it really
instant
is.
They said change that, we don't like it. It's because it's not good for you to see. It's gone too far.
I definitely understand. And like I said, I can understand both points of view, you know, as an artist not wanting to be censored or changed. Like, I can definitely understand that perspective. And then also we have ESRB ratings. Like, why do we have ESRB ratings? There
this doesn't
are a
happen
reason.
to movies.
But well, you know, yeah, they do. They cut a lot out of movies, and there are still things, even in rated R movies, that they are hesitant to allow.
Yes, but
TV shows
I'll
see that a
drop
lot
this now
too.
because this is a very long discussion and my throat's not up for it. So Final Fantasy VII.
Yes,
they showed
looks stunning.
another cinematic trailer for the Final Fantasy VII remake with a very different art style. Like Cloud looks a lot more feminine and a lot more.
Really?
Yes.
Because I was going to say that
there's comparison. He's a lot prettier now, which is fine.
I mean,
he looks like blonde Noctis.
I was going to say that I feel like it looks very Advent Children.
Bloctus.
I feel like it looks very Advent Children.
Yeah,
I feel like
and
he
Cloud
look
is very
any
pretty in
different.
Advent Children also.
He is, but I love the art style in Advent Children.
If you look
it's
at the
gorgeous.
original trailer for remake, though, Cloud looked a lot like more masculine. In this one, he's straight up like super pretty Cloud, which works because they
does work.
They reference in the game, and Cloud does kind of go drag, which I wonder if that scene's going to be in the remake.
I hope so, because that was hilarious.
Regrettably, however, they also have confirmed to, I think, many people's dismay, it's still going to be an episodic release.
I think that's an interesting choice.
I think it's a terrible choice. I think it's a money-milking choice.
I mean, here's the deal, though. The unfortunate piece is that people had to beg for many, many, many years, and I feel like they are remaking it because we twisted their arms.
And I just don't get it. It's like, we want to give you money, and they're like, no, we don't want to. It's like Nintendo used to be, or it still is like, hey, we really want to give you money for this Mother 3 game. I don't, because I hate it, but a lot of people do. And Nintendo's like, nah, you don't want it. We're not going to give it to you, but oh, look, here's a
I'm sure.
Shucks. Here's a not good VR headset instead.
There are so many other factors to take into consideration.
Man, I'm out of it.
Yeah. There are so many other factors to take into consideration when it comes to making a game. So you can't just say, like, it's because they don't want to do it. I'm sure there are a lot of stuff that maybe they couldn't complete or come to terms with as far as making that game goes.
Yeah. The real important bit is the price point, though.
Yeah. I mean, but I think that also by doing it this way, they realize that, yes, okay, it could be seen as them milking you for your money, but I personally see it as a way for them to get it to you faster.
Oh, hopefully so, because it's only been 5 years since it's been
exactly.
announced.
So if you release it bit by bit, you're satisfying at least a little bit of that hunger.
The fear with that also is Final Fantasy 15 took a decade to be released. We're like the world will be over by the time the last part of this game comes out.
I mean,
it's
I
gonna
really
be like
hope
Kingdom.
not.
It's gonna be like Kingdom Hearts. It's gonna have to span like 4 consoles.
Oh,
That's
man.
awful.
That
Which
would
means,
be
of course, they get to
insane.
re-release it every new console. So it's like, hey, spend $600 on this game, guys. It's like,
I mean, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
We'll see how they do it.
This is the company that made Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, I realize, but I hold out hope. I think that they chose to release it episodically so that they could
Charge
like
$60
I said,
times 4.
or satisfy a little bit of that hunger.
Or I mean, we're even assuming showing the trailer. It's literally the first mission where you fight the scorpion robot, and when you first meet Aeris, that's all you see. So if that's all it is, the game could be like 20 parts long for all we know.
When I saw that opening scene, and then when it was playing the song, whenever she was giving him the flower, my eyes started to tear up.
I don't know what you're talking about. That song is blocked out in my mind. Otherwise, I just start crying.
Right, exactly. I was already feeling it, like my eyes were watering.
Do you believe the theory that Aeris wasn't dead and Cloud killed her? By the way, have you heard this theory? You have to have, right?
No, I haven't.
You know, dead bodies don't sink; they float.
Yeah.
But when Cloud took her out to the water, she sank, which means she was probably still alive.
What in the world?
So Cloud actually killed Aeris.
No, I don't think that. I think that it was probably some development oversight.
I mean, it was very cinematically pretty, but can you just imagine? Like, that just
would be
makes
crazy.
sense.
Like, I mean, he is crazy.
Because he's completely, and I just love Cloud. I love Cloud and I hate him.
Poor Cloud. He's
Maybe
precious.
in this game he'll actually have a conclusion to his arc, other than like, I'm still just like angry Cloud man.
Okay, but I'm curious. Please
email
us, podcast@gameovervideogames.com, because I am dying to know, do you say Aeris or Aerith?
Well, Aeris is the American version.
Yeah.
Aerith is the Japanese version. They probably changed it because it sounds like you just have a lisp.
I just wonder, because a lot of people...
My favorite character with Aerith.
Do you remember when it was like really big a few years ago to be like, that's not we don't say it, Eris. The correct pronunciation is Aerith. And so I still say Eris, even though like...
Yeah, because my copy of 7, it's spelled Eris.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to call it. And if they have a problem, that's fine.
I'm just curious. I'm curious to see if once people heard that it was actually Aerith, like the Japanese version, I wonder if people, like, what they prefer.
It's like Raiden and Raiden.
Yeah, I think Raiden sounds better.
Well, it depends. Raiden's Mortal Kombat. Raiden's the shoot 'em up.
Yeah. I mean, it's potato...
And the Cyber Ninja.
It's potato, but I'm curious. So
Let's
please
call the whole thing
satisfy
off.
my curiosity at podcast@gameovervideogames.com.
Yes. Email us today at podcast@gameovervideogames.com. Tell us. Do you prefer all of your game characters to have a lisp?
Eris or Aerith? Raiden or Raiden?
Moving along. Brittany, take this one, please.
Detective Pikachu?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm stoked. I want to talk about that.
That one. Well, we will, but medieval.
I know. Medieval. Okay. Medieval's fantastic. Just buy it because it's going to be wonderful.
It's not.
It was a wonderful game.
It wasn't.
This looks like yes, it was. It looks like a beautiful remake. It's coming out October 25th. Thank the sweet baby Jesus. And so, yeah, I'm going to buy it.
It really wasn't that good of a game, though.
Yes, it is. Oh my God.
If you thought Medieval wasn't a very good game, email us at podcast@gameovervideogames.com.
No.
Because I thought it wasn't a bad
please.
game, but it was pretty ho-hum.
Please email podcast@gameover... Wait, what?
It was like Maximo.
No!
It was very
Is it podcast? It's at...
podcast@gameovervideogames.com.
No, you put podcast@gameovercast.com.
Oh, well, it's gameovervideogames.com.
Okay, please...
Don't trust my
get,
thing.
Yeah, don't get confused. It's podcast@gameovervideogames.com. Feel free to let Matt know that you agree with me and that Medieval is amazing.
Okay.
I don't understand why you don't think that game is good. It's so good.
It was okay.
It's not okay.
It was just okay.
It's more than okay.
It's just like, it was on the list of like, Sony's like, well, we have to remake a bunch of games now. We already did Crash, we did Spyro. What's left?
I think that was a perfect choice. I mean...
Well, yes, in that they didn't have a whole lot left to do.
It was a fantastic game. I would love to see it in HD.
I mean, what else are they going to remake? Jumping Flash? I mean, come on.
But perfect choice. That game's amazing.
We'll
you
see.
have no soul.
Maybe. Okay. Okay. I was going to write up a clever not clever, but a long-winded, stupid title for our movie segment. But then I got sick, so it's the movie segment.
It's yeah, okay.
Da, 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 da. It's a thing about movies.
It's called Detective Pikachu.
It's called Detective Pikachu segment. So, spoilers.
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu has been seen.
Yes. Finally. How long has it been out?
Not that long. I mean, we saw it a little while ago.
You know, I'm still really upset that we haven't seen Pet Sematary. I'm like really mad about that.
I mean, the first one wasn't that good. So.
Oh, we're gonna fight.
I mean, Stephen King, as we all know, is the most overrated author on the planet.
Oh, please.
If you agree, podcast at GameOverVideogames.com.
Oh, please. First of all, your favorite author is Dean Koontz, so don't even get me started.
All I'm saying is that Stephen King is the George Lucas of writing. He's really good. If he had someone to slap him on the back and be like, shut up, Stephen, stop talking about shoes, move on.
Oh my God, it is really...
Your books don't have to be a million pages.
To be fair, I personally feel like Dean Koontz is also extremely long-winded. And I love Koontz books. The Taking was amazing. Hideaway is amazing. Intensity, I know that that's your least favorite, but I read that when I was like 11 and it changed. It was amazing.
I don't know.
I loved it.
It's weird. Stephen King, it just feels like he set himself a goal. Like, all of my books must be longer than the Bible.
Oh no.
It's like this personal, like, back in the like in the 70s, he made a promise to himself while he was on some kind of haze of illicit drugs.
I was gonna say there are some books he doesn't even remember writing.
Yes.
So,
and those are often like the few of those that there are. Isn't Pet Sematary one of those books?
I don't know.
Or one of the ones he doesn't know. No, the dragon,
don't know.
the fantasy one that he like put on a shelf. He was like, "What is this book?" I don't know. The Madness. You know the fantasy. I found it a couple weeks ago. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
The Eyes of the Dragon?
Sure, that sounds good.
The Eyes of the Dragon. I
keep wanting to call it Dragon Tears, but that's Dean Koontz.
No,
and it's also a good book. So, confusion there.
Don't get me wrong, he writes excellent books, but I feel like you jab at Stephen King so hard, way too hard, because I feel like Dean Koontz, even though he is also an excellent writer, I'm not jabbing at him, he also has a lot of those traits you claim to hate.
I just feel like with Koontz, he spends forever talking about characters and having good interactions to the point where when the bad things happen, I'm sad because it's like, oh.
I just feel
with Stephen King, it's like he'll spend 50 pages talking to you about a doorknob.
I think it's
like
that's not always the
doorknob
case.
And the way the sun reflects off of it and how it reminds him of his mother, and it's just not good.
That's not always the case, but I feel like it boils down to preference. It's all about your perception and your opinion, because I feel...
I perceive that he doesn't know how to shut up, just like me.
Yeah, right. But I feel like King is great. I mean, I love Salem's Lot. I love Pet Sematary.
You also like a lot of his shorter novels, though.
I do. Night Shift is an excellent book, and it is a series of short stories, so... Yes.
A lot of his stuff, like it, is just, for me, impossible to finish because it's like, oh my God, please move along. I can definitely understand, but if you can get through Nosferatu, I think that you can definitely get through it. That book was a slog, and that's only because I was listening to it. I wouldn't have read that. I think you could have read it faster. You know what compelled me to finish that book? The reason, the simple fact that Kate Mulgrew was narrating it, and I love her voice. Oh, she's amazing. She is so amazing. Captain Janeway. Yeah, she has an amazing voice. That was a great book. I am not crapping on Nosferatu. Whoever has read that. It's like Battlestar Galactica. You could have cut a third of that book out, and it would have been the exact same experience, but better. I do think that it was a little drawn out, and I do think it was full of filler. I do think that he repeated. This is Joe Hill, by the way, who is Stephen King's son. What a surprise! But I feel like he did drag it out a little bit, and it could have been a better read if it was shorter, a little bit shorter, because a lot of the times he repeated himself, and I kind of hate that in books. Like, we get it. I get like once or twice having to, let's say you put the book down. The reader's not done. We understand. Exactly. But I feel like he repeated himself too much. So though I really appreciate the story, you know what? I think it's actually going to make a really good TV show. I think it might make a better TV show. They're working on it right now. I know. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. So I think, and the concept was so cool. It was a cool concept, yeah. I really like that. Yeah, it was like a vampire in a stylish car, and it was weird. Yeah. It's cool. And it's weird Christmas Town concept. Movies. It was cool. I don't know how... I know, we started talking about books. I can't remember how we got into books. It just happened. So, Detective Pikachu. I really liked it.
I loved it. I thought it was really cute. I thought it was really fun. I thought the Pokemon looked really cool, except for Gengar. He scared me.
Gengar did look like Slimer.
He did.
He didn't look like Gengar at all.
Not really. He
was like a purple Slimer.
All of the other Pokemon, I was like, okay, that's a really interesting, realistic take on those Pokemon. I think it works. It looks really cool. Gengar was the one that I was like, okay, that looks a little strange. I feel like the way they tried to make him look, which I think they borrowed heavily from Slimer.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, I don't think that really worked for him. But luckily, I think you saw the Gengar balloon more than you actually saw the Pokemon.
That's true,
so
yes.
it was fine.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, it wasn't a bad movie.
It wasn't.
Like a lot of these films, the less of the humans I saw, the better of a film it was. Because I'm not sure if it was the writing or the directing or the actors or all of the above, but some of the people, specifically the protagonist, were not good in that movie. Like, not good at all.
I beg to differ.
There were parts where I was like, man, you're terrible. And I'm not sure if it was his fault, because it could be a case of like Star Wars, where it was just horrible directing.
Directing, yeah.
But there's also like, man,
or the writing.
Like, how did that line get past, get past anybody? It's like, those are horrible lines.
I actually didn't feel that way about anything. I thought that it was fine. It is cheesy. Some of it was a little bit cheesy, but it's meant to be cheesy. It's not meant to be a movie that's taken seriously. Yeah, but it was like
cheesy to a fault. There's like good cheesy, like Evil Dead or Goonies or, a billion of them. And then there's like, ugh.
I don't know. I really...
There's been this cringe.
I really enjoyed it.
That movie had some serious cringe.
And I really like...
Also, easily, so far, the most predictable film of the year.
It was.
The plot was predicted by the trailer. Junior, I was right, if you haven't watched it.
But to me, that isn't a problem.
I know, it's just funny.
Like I said, it's not meant to be like this huge, like, philosophical, in-depth movie. It's just meant to, hey, you love Pokemon? This has
Here
Pokemon. And here are some nods to some of the Pokemon games. Or, you know what I mean? And it's
That's what I mean.
fun.
You go see these movies for the Pokemon. It's like you don't see it. You don't go see you don't go see a Transformers movie anyways, because they're usually garbage except for Bumblebee. But
Bumblebee was amazing.
If you do go see a Transformers movie, you don't see it for Shia LaBeouf. You don't go see it for Mark Wahlberg. You go see it for Optimus Prime.
Yes, I get where you're coming from, and you definitely, I wanted to see the Pokemon, but I feel like these characters did add to the story.
I know.
It didn't bother me because they were part of the story, and you still saw a lot of Pokemon. Mr. Mime was fantastic, by the way.
Yes. I mean, it's just like Godzilla. Like, you go see a Godzilla for a Godzilla. You go see a Godzilla movie for Godzilla, not for that stupid girl that plays 11.
I mean,
I don't care.
But
I could see a Godzilla movie without any named people. The people are there to get stepped on. That's it.
Wow.
I'm good. I don't need to relate to these people.
Again,
they're being stepped on.
I feel like it's just a matter of perspective.
Yes, my perspective is that
preference.
of a giant monster that breathes fire.
And personal preference. I feel like having these characters, as long as there's a nice balance, of course you don't want to go see a Pokemon movie and there are hardly, there are more humans than there are Pokemon.
Like the first, like the 2017 Godzilla movie. Was it 17 or was it 12 or... When did that one come out?
I don't remember.
The one where you saw Godzilla for a combined time of about 2 minutes.
Yeah. Are you talking about the one that Anno did?
No.
Okay, I'm like, what?
The first one Legendary
you love
did.
That one.
That was okay, but you saw Godzilla for 2 or 3 minutes total. And the rest of the time was like, oh cool, people talking about Godzilla.
Because in Anno's you actually don't see Godzilla that much either.
No.
To be fair.
True.
But it was still good, right? You still really loved it. I feel like
you still go see it to see Godzilla, though.
It's a balance.
Don't say everything in moderation. I'll go see 3 hours of Godzilla eating families and be happy.
I know you would, but I'm just saying it was a nice balance. If you haven't, also Pikachu Addicted to Coffee is my life. That is my everything. So I feel like that is me.
That dog was you, by the way. I keep forgetting the name of it, but
no, the Snuffle.
Yes, you are Snuffle. You're grouchy, and then you're given a snack, and you kind of perk up a little bit.
Right, it was that, I think. But
it's the pink angry.
Yeah, he's a fairy type? No.
I don't know. He's
Hold on. I want to know. I think so, though. But anyway.
Pardon me.
The only thing that makes me sad is I love Jigglypuff. And I feel like
you saw more Jiggly in the trailer.
Yeah, I feel like there wasn't a lot of Jigglypuff, but what you did see was kind of funny.
There was definitely some puff cut out of the movie.
I appreciate the big Jigglypuff balloon in the end. They showed it a lot. I was really happy with that.
I know, I see you're happy with these balloons.
Psyduck was really funny.
Psyduck was a jerk.
What?
Psyduck was a massive jerk in that movie. Yeah, he was. He was like making Pikachu rub his feet. Like,
I loved
of
that.
course I care about the life of my partner.
I thought that was so funny. Hey man, he just can't get. I feel like my life is also Psyduck.
They murdered Mr. Mime.
They did not.
That they poured imaginary gasoline on him and then set him on imaginary fire. And then walked away.
They did not walk away.
They walked away. They're like, well, there's one dead Mr. Mime.
You're making that up.
No, I'm not. Because if the imaginary walls were real, the imaginary gasoline was real, and the imaginary fire actually set him on fire.
They were just like, oops, and then it cut. They saved him.
No, because he was like, they saved him. But there's gonna be like a deformed Mr. Mime out there with like one of his little hair puffs missing.
I have to say, I really love him.
Looking all like Chucky from the end of Child's Play 2.
Oh my god. I really loved him. He was amazing. And I have no issue. I know you were going to mention this. I have no issue with Ryan Reynolds. I
forgot. Thank you. Okay, so I have a theory about Ryan Reynolds. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Please tell me.
So I have a theory about Ryan Reynolds' saturation and how we're all in danger.
What?
I feel as though Ryan Reynolds is a lot like radiation, like gamma radiation, where you like in some things like you can have like there's only so much you can have of like I don't know like Disney movies. You can only watch so much, and then it's like, okay, I need to take a bit of a break.
Yeah,
and then it's different for everyone, but you have that thing.
I dig it. I feel like you feel like there is too much. There's oversaturation of Ryan Reynolds right now on the market.
Exactly.
I get it.
But here's the difference. I feel for me at least, Ryan Reynolds is it's like radiation. Like it doesn't go away. Like you as a person, you can only handle so much radiation in your life, and once you hit that that excess moment, you just die. I feel like once I'll see a Ryan Reynolds movie and just die one day. It's like too much.
When I first heard that he was going to be the voice of Pikachu, when the game came out, the Detective Pikachu game came out, I was like,
stop.
Okay, I don't know, and I get you because even I was getting, even though I really like the Deadpool movies, I was also getting a little like, okay, it's Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds. I see. But I still think that he's a great actor. Do I think that he has a ton of range? No.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds is like Keanu Reeves.
But I don't think that's a problem.
In that he only ever plays himself. But unlike Keanu Reeves, Ryan Reynolds gets annoying after a while.
We're going to fight because, again, Keanu Reeves
has zero range.
Are you joking?
He's really good at playing Keanu Reeves.
You are joking.
Like, there's different stages of Keanu. There's chill Keanu.
We fought about this
Yes.
on the last podcast because you're wrong.
Name one movie where Keanu isn't playing Keanu, and I'll apologize. I can wait.
I mean, John Wick.
He's still Keanu. He's just depressed, angry Keanu.
I mean...
He's Keanu with a gun.
I feel like all of his roles, like, okay, he played... He was in Bill and Ted.
Yes,
which is insane.
That was excited Keanu.
So I feel like, that was like young Keanu.
That was stoner Keanu.
Okay, he was in The Matrix.
And that was John Wick Keanu.
Different.
No,
it is.
That was same kind of like monotone, sort of like whoa, like that's him. It just his dog wasn't dead in the Matrix.
I feel like he did. No,
like when Keanu Reeves approaches a movie, he's like, all right, I'm gonna play Keanu, but what level is my dog dead? Am I a surfer?
No.
Via Con Dios? Is this a Via Con Dios movie?
That's
another one where he's the exact same Keanu as he is in everything else.
He is not the exact same Keanu.
Am I going to be Johnny Utah levels of Keanu? Or
God.
Like that's it.
I really feel replicas.
You haven't seen that.
But I feel like
he looks like the exact same monotone Keanu.
He does not.
He's like, whoa, I'm going to clone my wife.
He takes on these different roles.
I guarantee you, if he could clone his dog, he wouldn't be on a rampage in John Wick, but it's the exact same character.
I think there's a difference as in, let's say, I feel like if you were to line up Ryan Reynolds, and don't get me wrong, he's a great actor. I'm fine with that.
I would not go that far because he's just being himself.
No, I mean, it still takes talent to act.
To just read lines as yourself.
I don't think he's 100% himself.
I'm pretty sure he's
still an actor.
I'm pretty sure he's just that kind of dude.
I feel like a lot of his personality does come out in his roles, but if you were to line up his roles, Waiting, Deadpool, Detective Pikachu,
all the exact same Ryan Reynolds.
They all feel the same. Whereas Keanu's roles, they don't feel that way to me.
That's why
he was Jonathan Harker. Which I think he did an excellent job.
Which is the only British accent worse than Dick Van Dyke.
Negative. That is a freaking negative.
Down.
A huge.
Oh
please email
my
podcast@gameovervideogames.com and tell Matt that he's crazy.
I mean, true, but please email us at podcast@videogames.com to tell me that Keanu Reeves has no range. Not saying he's not.
Yes,
I love
he
Keanu
does.
Reeves, but oh my god, not only is he a vampire,
And he is certainly not typecast. Because all the different roles that he takes on that are these different people, like widely different from each other.
but it's all the same guy.
He is not. No.
Okay.
It is not.
Okay,
It is not the same.
We'll be
in my
here
opinion.
forever, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in the next show because we still have to go
know.
see John Wick when it comes out, and we'll talk about it again.
I can't wait. I'm dying.
He's
I've
gonna-
been
he's gonna die.
drooling.
He's gonna die.
He better not
He's
die. There's gonna be a riot, and I'm
He's
gonna
gonna
start
die,
it.
and his puppy's gonna be like, no, and like lick his little face. And then,
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then the next movie will be about about John Wick's
No,
dog.
he's too much of a
John
badass.
Wick's dog with like a laser cannon.
He can't. He just can't. He's
We'll
too
see.
cool.
We'll see. We'll see. The only other movie bit, and we'll have to be quick about this because it's already getting late. I put this on here for you, Brittany.
Okay.
The It 2 trailer.
Yes.
And can I say
Yes.
the bit with the old woman and the smile?
Was freaking you out?
The trailer reminded me just like It 1, where it was really good and really scary until that stupid guy showed up dressed as Pennywise.
Hello.
Hello. It's just, he's not scary.
Have you seen that everybody's making like memes and stuff because he sounds like Winnie the Pooh?
He does. Like, there's a problem when your main nightmarish villain is just pathetic. And you pity him for existing.
I mean, do I think he's absolutely precious? Yes. But
That's
I also
not
think
good for a villain.
I also think a lot of people do think that he's scary. A lot of people are afraid of clowns.
Yes, but how can you think that? Like, he just you want to beat him up and steal his lunch money.
I think
like the goofy, crooked teeth that aren't scary, that just look dumb.
I feel like that's part of what makes him a little scary is a little bit of that innocence.
He just looks stupid and sad.
And if you're not scared of him and you trust him and then he turns into this monster, I think that is scary.
I don't trust him. I want to put a plastic bag over his head and throw him into a river.
I mean, am I scared of anything? No. But I feel like...
that's a lie.
Except bugs. But movies, no, and I've always loved clowns. I collected porcelain clowns as a child.
It
I was a
just
weirdo.
makes me sad because the first one and this one too it's so creepy, and then you're like, oh, it's that stupid clown here to ruin everything and make it not scary as he dances for you. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, big.
I feel like he's fine.
Not scary.
I think
not scary at all.
I don't think that's a problem though. It's still a good movie.
Tim Curry had some menace.
Tim Curry's amazing.
Like Tim Curry was like jovial and fun, but at the same time it was like, oh, that's kind of creepy looking. Not 1 second of that clown is scary.
He was a little menacing, but I think a lot of people would beg to differ. I think that you can still sense that he is menacing. I mean, he ripped Georgie's arm off.
He's trying to be menacing. No, that was a really crappy CG clown that did that. Another one of my problems with the movies is the CG looked awful. Awful.
I'll give you a break for that one, but I still feel like it was enjoyable.
Because except for the clown, the first one was really good. So hopefully it'll be the same thing where there's less clown and more actual good scary movie. And there's the clown that'll be like, hey, don't forget about me. I'm terrible. And I'm trying so hard not to be Tim Curry. I just suck. Mm-hmm. So it's okay. Whatever.
I don't think he sucks.
Like, I'm sorry, but Tim Curry in a wheelchair would make a better scary clown than this guy would, okay?
Oh, wow. You're just hating.
I'm not hating. I'm just pointing out the truth.
And see, for you, I've said this in the past, it has to be one or the other, and I don't understand.
It's not. He just has to be good, and he's not.
I feel like he's fine.
Like, he could be anything else, and
he
it'd
is
be good.
cute, though. He's
yes, cute. And I agree with you. He is cute, and that doesn't work. Okay, if I think he's kind of cute and lame looking, I'm like, oh, look at him. He's a little clown suit. Someone just toss him off a bridge. Okay.
I think it looks good. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely going to see it.
We will move on.
Yes.
Pardon me. We're going to skip our question of the show because I'm losing vocal fidelity rapidly.
I can tell.
We are going to go ahead and move on to our discussion points. And actually, we're going to answer last episode's question of the show where we talked about superhero movies.
And I'm so mad at you because I feel like I had a really good answer and now I can't remember.
Okay. Well, I'll do the quick one. Okay. Stop.
Really?
Stop it. Please stop it. And my reason being is that Disney, being the disgusting monster that they are right now, buying out everybody, there are less movies being made now because when they bought out Fox, they confirmed that even though we own Fox, we as Disney aren't going to make any more movies, so less movies are going to be put out now, for sure. And when all you're putting out are live-action remakes of your classic animated films and superhero movies, it's like, cool, maybe something else now?
I think this is where Netflix and Hulu, places like Netflix and Hulu.
But I want theatrical films, not Netflix originals.
I get it. And also what I was going to say is where indies come into play. You know, I've been a fan of independent movies for a really long time.
Yep.
And I feel like this is the time that they get a chance to shine. This is where now more than ever, independents are so important.
That's true, and I agree with that, but the same problem as Netflix. I don't want to drive an hour away to some art house theater to watch something that isn't Batman.
I mean, I get it. I definitely understand.
And just like when Netflix starts showing their good movies in theaters, like I forget the name of that movie, but Netflix has rights to this awesome Chinese film I wanted to watch. I can't remember what the heck it's called now.
Oh yeah, they just put it
the
on.
one about the Earth. Like that'd be cool, but like there needs to be like Netflix movies where they'll show things in theaters just to really put the hurt on the movie industry.
I mean, I think that's awesome. Cool, and I think that the movie industry or Hollywood as a whole is kind of feeling that.
Dear Netflix.
I think they are. At the Oscars, there was like a huge thing where somebody said, in less polite terms, forget Netflix, but not the F word that we were.
Yes.
And I feel like no, I think Netflix is doing something really important. I hear that they give their writers and their directors a lot of creative freedom, and I think that's really important. They pick up a lot of independence. They pick up a lot of shows. Oh my God, please! I love Lucifer.
Don't even talk about it.
Please,
don't even talk about it.
Can we talk about it?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to mention it a little bit, but not right now.
Yeah, I know.
But yes, that's one of my that's my favorite, I dare say, comic series of all time, and I really enjoy the show, even though it is different.
Nothing like the comic series. Not different. Nothing like it. Nothing.
Even though it's different, I still really enjoy it. But I'm happy that Netflix is stepping in, and in a way, I almost feel like they're fighting for the little guy.
Even though they're not the little guy.
Even though they're not the little guy, yeah, but that's okay. And I feel like. Yes, superhero
and they're ruining Ava. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, I think that superhero movies are really important. I think it's fun to have them. They're really popular right now. We love superheroes, being comic book fans ourselves. So I think that that's really, really cool. But I feel like everything in balance.
Yes.
You know, balance is always a good thing. And if the movie, if huge studios can't provide that balance, it's important for services like Netflix and Hulu and independents to fill that void.
They need to start showing things in theaters then, because
that would be so cool.
We don't need 8 superhero movies a year. We don't.
And do I personally believe that, because there was also a fight about Netflix shouldn't be allowed at the Oscars or whatever, and I think that that's completely wrong, and I think that that's really snobby.
Well, Netflix just needs to start showing things in theaters, then they won't have a choice.
Yeah. I mean, because I feel like Netflix is putting out some of the best material we have seen in a really long time. And I feel like they're just scared. That's what I think. But,
well, I mean, if you really want to get like specific about it, the Oscars are like the Academy of Filmmakers and all that kind of, and Netflix doesn't have anything there. So it's like,
but sometimes,
it's still kind of crap. But
okay, I get it. But with all due respect, sometimes I feel like they're a little high and mighty.
Of course they are, and
there are
they're
some
afraid
things
of change,
like
and
change. You know, adverse to change. We're creatures of habit. I totally understand. But I think there are important changes that do still need to be made in the movie industry that I feel like would benefit the industry as a whole. And maybe, people in stuffy suits and neckties shouldn't be making some of the decisions. I'm just saying.
Just because the Netflix guys surely aren't in stuffy suits and neckties.
I know. I'm sure they are. But you get what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes, I get it, yes.
And I also have massive respect for what Netflix has done for certain people that probably would have never made it if it wasn't for the platform.
Like redubbing Evangelion.
That is sad.
They will never be forgiven for that.
That is really sad.
Ever.
I know you'll never forgive them for that. That is really sad. I'm curious to kind of watch an episode to hear what they think is better than the voice cast. I'm really curious.
I don't know if I'll be able to.
But I'm really happy overall with a lot of their original content.
I will give you that. Okay, so let's move on then. So that's answering the question. So the reason why that wasn't our show last month is because I hadn't quite wrapped my brain around what the show was going to be.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do a superhero show, but then I was like, well, we already did Batman, and we did a couple of little things, so how do I do it?
Yeah, because we've talked about beat 'em ups, and so therefore we talked about like X-Men.
Yes.
So I feel like a lot of that, when he was bouncing that idea off of me, I felt like a lot of that was like, well, we've already talked about that a lot. How could we make this different?
Exactly. So it hit me.
We struggled with that.
It hit me a little while back. We will do not just superheroes, but comic book games. And
Yes.
then in our traditional list format of ones, because the last one was sequels that are never going to happen, these are comic book games that we really want to see made.
Yes. And you know what? I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to be real. I tried so hard to dig a little deep, and then I was like, you know what? These are all predictable Brittany choices.
And you dug deep, and that like doubled my list here. So
yeah, sorry.
Good Lord.
Well, as I started writing the list and like thinking of different comic book characters, I was like, oh, but I have to add that one. Oh, I really love that one. And I omitted a lot. I really did leave a lot out. It was really hard to narrow it down, but overall, I'm happy with my choices. I think some of my choices are pretty predictable, but that's okay. That's not a problem.
Yep. Okay, well, your list is bigger than mine.
Can I just say, though,
no.
yippee-ki-yay, yay, yay, yay.
You wanted a Die Hard comic book game?
No, I am so stoked. That has nothing to do with Die Hard. I just said it.
Okay.
But Tarantino's new movie.
Oh, that's right. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes, that's a
coming out
breath of fresh
soon.
air, and I'm super stoked for that. Really stoked. Well, anyway, sorry.
Awesome. Out of left field.
I know.
Great.
I just had to say it because I thought about
keep
it.
movie discussion to our movie topic,
Let's do
please.
it. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please
Because you know this show thrives on structure.
David, forgive me.
And give me Gundam models. Hey, all right. Okay, so you go ahead and start with your list, Brittany, because I know you have more than me.
Okay, I do have more than you. And so, funny, because we touched on this.
Gee, I wonder if it's going to be Lucifer.
I was thinking, you know what would be really cool? A Lucifer game. And then I was like, but how would they make that work? You know, it'd be really cool? Death. You know, it'd be really awesome? Sandman. And then I started thinking, okay, so let's get the Sandman universe and turn it into an MMO, baby. Wouldn't that be amazing?
How would it work?
I don't know.
Oh, so you were writing a list of titles without fleshing out the games.
But I think, yeah, were you fleshing out the games?
Possibly.
Okay, that's why. But I feel like the only way to make the Sandman universe work as a video game is to make it an MMO.
To not actually play as Sandman, yeah.
Think about all of the things that you could add, like DLC-wise and content-wise.
Man, you're saying dirty words.
I know, that's terrible. Or like expansion packs, because you know Final Fantasy.
Yes.
Final Fantasy 14, we've been playing that. The new expansion's about to drop. So, okay, let me take back DLC, and let's just say, like, expansion-wise.
I'll take expansion, yes.
And that would be amazing.
Just think of all the microtransactions you could do. Think of the monetization.
Stop, no. It would be sub-based.
You could go to
not
Lux.
free to play. Okay, going to Lux and hanging out in Lux would be my life. I would be so happy.
That would be pretty cool.
But yes, please watch the show. It's amazing.
So you're thinking,
I love the
you're
comic
more or
book.
less a Vertigo universe
Yes.
MMO.
That would be cool.
I'm okay
I mean,
with this.
Primarily Sandman characters, but I would take, if you wanted to add other Vertigo characters, I think that would be really cool.
I would be fine with that.
Yeah,
And
that would be
very
amazing,
nice.
right?
Yeah.
And then Neil Gaiman could have like a little say, and that would be really cool because he's super cool.
Man, this is turning into just like in addition to games that are never going to get made. The show that we did 2 episodes
so sad.
ago.
I know, but I think that would be really cool, and I love Lucifer because who wouldn't? Read the comic book series.
Read the comic book
It's
before you watch the
amazing.
show because the comic is a billion times better than the show.
I mean, yes, I love Mike Carey. He is an excellent writer, and I feel like his story was amazing. The comic book series, it is my favorite, and I love it so much. I also love that Heaven and Hell, Lucifer and God, it's not so black and white, and I've always felt that way, even when I was a child. So I really like that take. I have massive sympathy for the devil. I always have. And so this really makes me happy reading this comic
I'm sorry,
book.
Brittany. We're just going to have to cut you off there now.
Stop! Read this comic book. And the TV show is really good. So please watch it. And support the comic too, because the comic is amazing. They're coming out with an omnibus in November. So yeah. Anyway, I'm putting that on my Christmas list.
I don't feel bad for talking about robots.
Matt, wink, wink.
I don't know who you are anymore. Okay, so my first game was the one that gave me the idea for this episode. I was like, man, this would be cool. What we do with superhero games, yeah, that'd be cool. But man, this game would be cool, but they haven't made it yet. Hey,
what?
Let's do a show about this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I really want to see a Lobo game. Lobo, obviously, the main man.
I knew it.
Just the coolest, to me, the personification of like 90s comic books is Lobo. Just this like brash, vulgar space bounty hunter who looks like a juggalo that likes to smoke space cigars on his space bike. The guy murdered Santa Claus, okay? There's an episode where Santa Claus is like this super awesome, like badass, and Lobo rips his head off.
God.
Okay? But it's actually a really good fight.
I did not know that.
Yes, Lobo is amazing.
I mean, you have always cared for Lobo more than me.
Just because he's ridiculous.
Yeah, he is.
He just has
funny.
it like that, like just like devil may care spirit, where it's just like, man, that's absurd. Where he's just like a space biker from hell.
He's pretty outlandish. I think that would actually make a really fun video game because all of the elements are there.
I want to see. I would really like to see. I was thinking either I would love to see Rockstar make a Lobo game. With just like an open world kind of GTA-esque, but with much better on-foot controls. Get on it, Rockstar. But, and then in space, or I was thinking just now, or if they were to make, I can't remember his name, but the guy who did Devil May Cry could also really excel with a Lobo game. Because it's, he's got the chains and the hooks and the guns.
Dude,
and
that would actually really work. I can picture it in my mind right now, seeing that combo that pops up in the top corner of your screen.
And just that kind of like hyper violent.
Yeah.
It'd be
totally
really
see
good.
that.
Never in a million years would that happen.
Hey, you never know. If they do, weren't they talking about doing a Lobo movie? They have for a while.
They've talked about it, and he's showing up in one of the DC streaming things.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious like how extreme he's going to be because Lobo was out there.
I still think that Danny Trejo would make a really great
Yep,
Lobo.
best Lobo in the universe. I don't care how old he gets.
I really think that, it doesn't matter. I really think that would be cool to see.
But that's my first one. Rock on, Brittany.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this one is also pretty predictable, but I think a Hellblazer or Constantine.
I knew
I was gonna say it. How could I not? And look, think about it this way, a la Shadows of the Damned.
That's why I figured that's where you were going.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of talking about Shadows of the Damned. But can you imagine playing as Constantine, exorcising demons, and having powers and just all this really cool stuff? Can you imagine the stuff that they could do with that video game? It would be amazing.
It would definitely have to be very, very video gamified because the Hellblazer comics are actually very, very slow. I mean, I'm sure you've read a bunch of them. Like they're really good, but they are not very actiony.
I feel like they made...
Like Constantine spends most of the comics getting the crap kicked out of him.
I feel like a lot of people would disagree with me, but I really enjoyed the Constantine movie.
Oh, no.
I know. And like I said, there's love in my heart. There's room in my heart for both loves.
Keanu playing Keanu, but this time with lung cancer.
Oh, stop. He did not. Keanu is not that grumpy, and you know it. He's not that much of a butthole. I almost slipped, but he's not that much of a butthole, you know it. In fact, he's supposed to be extremely down to earth and nice. So I feel
nicest guy in Hollywood.
If you can make it work in that movie, I think you could make it work in video game form. And can you imagine like seeing like angels and stuff like that? That would be really cool. In the movie, he fights Gabriel, and I think that would be really, really cool to have like a similar. Just all the things you could add to that game would be amazing.
I agree. Awesome.
And I had this on my list for later, but I guess since it works, I'm going to go ahead and say it now. You could add Zatanna. And that would be really awesome because I love
They are buds in the
Zatanna.
DC universe,
Yeah, and so I think it would be really, really cool to see a Zatanna in that video game. I don't think she would get her own video game, even though I did put it on that list, but it would be cool to see her.
Definitely. I'll take that. Yeah. Okay, mine is one they thought about making and didn't, and they need to. They need to make a good... because a lot of my games on here are like, man, the Arkham series is just like the Batman game. Like those are like, there's never going to be better Batman games unless they just make another one. Like that is, and, Spider-Man, like Spider-Man for PS4 is the Spider-Man game. It's just like that gets the feeling, right? I can't think of another superhero game where you get the feeling of playing the superhero perfectly. Like, there's bad superhero games. There's a bad Green Lantern game. There's a lot of bad superhero games out there. And there's a couple ones that are okay, but those ones are like, mwah. I want that for other stuff. So this one on here, I have The Flash. I want a really good Flash game. And
that is so funny because I thought about putting The Flash on my list.
And my God, it would be so... But I can see it working with lots and lots of bullet time. Like, Max Payne-y stuff. Like, that... You could do it. You really could do it. It'd be really hard.
You really could.
But I really think it'd be something they could succeed at. And I love The Flash because The Flash is one of those characters where I think he kind of gets overlooked. And he has the television series now, which I think is not very good. But that's just me. I
thought you liked it.
It's okay. It's me. I love The Flash's power set because it's one of those ones where you can really pull whatever you want out of your butt, and it kind of works because Speed Force, you know, like he used to just be fast, but then he could vibrate, and then he could time travel and do all this absurd, flashy stuff. But that would just be so cool. You know, I don't know how it would work. I'm not a game developer. I just want them to do it.
I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like they could make that work.
I think they could too. Like, what's Rocksteady doing? Who knows? Another Batman game, probably.
Dude, I would not be mad at Rocksteady if they did another Batman.
Or a
I feel
Superman
like
game. Or, you know.
Batman is perfect. I feel like it is a
It's
fantastic
been kind of
game.
played out, though. Like, I think there's not much more they could do. So I do think, you know, we talked Rocksteady before, and we'll talk about it on our next episode with E3.
Let's do a Golden Age.
A Golden Age, like a
Golden Age
60s Batman. We'll see. We'll see.
That would be rad.
That will be spoken about next episode, because next episode, I believe, is going to be our E3 like prediction show. So you better believe Rocksteady is going to be on that list, because they were last year and they never showed up. So
Really? Okay.
yeah, they've been quiet for some time now.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of the, like, before I continue with this list, I think you and I both hold Batman in such a high standard, and I think that really took superhero video games, where they went from being, like, only video games that were made to accompany a movie, so they were pretty bad.
Yep.
I think it took superhero video games to the next level, and people realized, like, hey, you can push the limits and make these video games really, really good.
I agree.
So I feel like we will be using the term a lot myself, the bat treatment, because that's how I feel.
Give it the bat treatment.
Give it the bat treatment, because that's amazing. I put Booster Gold because, you know,
Oh my God, Booster!
I love
that
Booster.
poor chump.
I love
Just
him.
the biggest loser in comic books.
The greatest superhero you never knew.
He really is too. I love what John did with Booster, where Booster was such a loser, and he's always this perpetual loser who saved the universe, and nobody cares because it's always time travel stuff.
I know, and then we could have like a little bit of, you know, we could have a Ted Cord, Blue Beetle,
And he gets shot in the head.
Ted is my Blue Beetle, okay? And I feel like we can.
Hey, Jaime Reyes is fine.
He's
Just
fine.
Nobody liked him. That's all.
He's okay
Because he wasn't Ted.
I mean, he's still going now, isn't he?
Is he?
I
don't know.
think so, but I don't know because, you know, I kind of
I'm
lost
so
touch.
out of we're also out of
a while
comic
ago.
books now.
But I have always loved Ted Cord. You know, for me, when it came to comic books,
He
I
was just
love
like
an
lame
underdog.
Batman. He was like loser. He was Batman without any of the style.
Oh,
And he had
that's so
just
sad.
this stupidest, like, fat balloon of a ship he flew around in.
Look, he's fantastic. Don't hate.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I feel like I love Booster. He was him and Ted. I feel like were important in Final Crisis.
They were very important. Well, Blue Beetle was dead by the time Final Crisis started. But,
Well, yeah.
you know, brains splattered all over the wall kind of thing.
So sad. So sad. That crushed me. Anyway, but I feel like, as I was saying, I've always loved, I love Batman. Yes, Batman's always been my number one. But then I started really feeling the love for a lot of these underdog characters. So I loved Booster. I loved Aquaman. And I'm so happy that Aquaman is becoming popular because he wasn't. And people would make fun of me for liking Aquaman. And I just feel like, no. Now he's amazing. So I'm glad that he's getting the love he deserves.
Good.
But I have loved, Ted Cord, Blue Beetle. I've loved a lot of these superheroes that I felt never got enough attention.
The loser superheroes,
They were so cute. But yeah, I think a Booster Gold video game would be really cool.
Good. I like that. Okay, so here's one of mine, which you knew I was going to do, Brit, and a lot of people knew I was going to do, probably. Swamp Thing.
I knew it, yes. I knew.
I've spoken before on the show my deep love for Swamp Thing, all the way back to like the really awful 90s cartoon and the awesome Wes Craven film and just the glorious comics.
Wes Craven.
Yeah, specifically the Scott Snyder run when the New 52 launched. There was a lot of bad stuff that happened when New 52 came out. Swamp Thing was amazing.
Oh my god, yes it was.
It was this beautiful blend because Scott Snyder loves him some horror comics and just it gave Swamp Thing this awesome kind of quasi scary, really good sort of like zombie, but not kind of, I loved Swamp Thing so much. And then I kept thinking like, man, I was thinking of what kind of game it would be. And I thought to myself, man, I just love to have that storyline where, Alec Holland wakes up and realizes that he's, the Swamp Thing before wasn't really Swamp Thing. And then it occurred to me, well, crap, that's not going to work unless we have Animal Man in it.
I had Animal Man on my list! You monster! But yes.
Because the tandem Jeff Lemire written Animal Man storyline where it was the red and the green versus the black.
Which I feel makes so much sense. That was the coolest storyline ever.
It really was.
Because if there is a spokesperson for the green, like Swamp Thing or, whatever, then you would think that the other elements would also have their heroes.
Definitely.
Or anti-hero, whatever.
Yeah, very much so.
But that's such a perfect idea. Animal Man's the bomb.
Like, if you like comics or horror or good love stories or any of the above,
crazy, yeah.
Read that. If you don't want to read the Homage, just read the Snyder Swamp Thing run.
And Yannick Paquette,
that man is such a
his
god.
His art is stunning. Stunning is a gross understatement.
Yes.
Like
jaw dropping, just kind of
so good.
But so I think that would be an amazing kind of quasi horror sort of thing.
You know what I loved about that? Butterbaker.
Yeah, Butterbaker.
When they call him Butterbaker.
Butterbaker, Animal Man.
Yeah, he can't say his name right, so he's like Butterbaker.
So good.
So cute.
Yeah. So read those. Like, you don't have to read a lot of comics. Read those. They're good.
Yes.
They're good.
Very good. And read Lucifer, because it's amazing.
Yeah, well, mine are like 12 issues. Yours is like 200.
No, Lucifer I think is like 75.
Oh, I thought it went over 100.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, they do have like spin-off issues, and then they started it again.
One, yeah.
And I don't know.
Lucifer has a son.
With the first, it was like, what, a few years ago?
It was a few years ago, yeah.
I don't know if that was supposed to be like a mini series or if they kept going. I'm not sure. But that's one I need to pick up because I want to support that.
I think it was like 30 plus issues now. So
really,
yeah, I believe so.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad that's doing well because it deserves it. Okay.
Proceed now that I stole one of yours. Sorry.
You did. That's okay because I had a feeling. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and put Animal Man on my list, but I have a feeling because you've always been such a huge Animal fan. Can I
just say also, I love Animal. I'm a big Animal fan, man.
Yeah.
I love animals with fans on them. Butterbaker, yes. Because the Animal Man existed before him, but the amazing, and I know I'm talking about the amazing Grant Morrison Animal Man run, the original breaking the fourth wall, screw you Deadpool, it was done before you kind of thing, where Animal Man meets his maker.
Yeah.
It's so good and so like, what is happening?
Grant Morrison is also really wonderful.
So glorious. But sorry, proceed, Brittany.
Okay. So, the next one is super predictable. Like, you knew I was going to have to say it, but it definitely deserves the bat treatment and not a bad movie. Hellboy.
Oh, yeah.
Because Hellboy is also fantastic.
New movie, maybe not so much.
I still have not seen it. I'm going to watch it, but I'm going to be a little salty that it's not Del Toro.
Yep.
Because I want a third Ron Perlman.
Yeah, Ron Perlman, who looks like Hellboy.
He does. He was born for that role.
That monkey face man.
I love him so much. He's such an excellent actor. And Del Toro, I gush enough about Del Toro. So
gush.
So I feel like I wish it was
Hellboy
Del Toro.
is a video game, though. And it was a pretty good one.
Yes, it is a video game. Well, they did there's
a PS1 game, and then there's the 360 PS3 one.
They did the okay, what? The 360. I know that there's... Oh, yeah. It's
you own the PS1 game because I bought it for you.
Science of Evil?
Something. Yeah, that's right.
But it's not fantastic.
Yeah, it's kind of low budget.
It is. Game. Like, I feel like it
needs the bat treatment.
It does. Yeah. It's not a bad game, but it's not Batman.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not on that level.
Not Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Like, it's really in sync with the Hellboy amazing universe with all the great characters. Yeah. I'll grant you that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I would love to see a really good, edgy, dark Hellboy game. And Abe Sapien is the bomb.
Yeah. Okay.
Doug Jones is the bomb.
I'll take it. He is. He's going to be Emmy Matsuri.
Yay! I can get my Shape of Water signed. I'm so excited.
That sounds inappropriate. Cool. Okay, so my next one, and you are never going to guess this one, Brittany. And half of you haven't heard of this. Speaking of Scott Snyder, I want them to make a video game out of The Wake. Do you remember The Wake, Brittany?
I remember vaguely The Wake, but no, not really.
The Wake was an awesome miniseries about essentially evil, cannibalistic mer people and how they take over the world, and half the comic is set after the apocalypse. And this girl trying to like unravel the mystery about what happened. And it's just I don't want to spoil anything else because that's kind of like what you see in the first issue.
I'm actually gonna have to find this because I recall
you have not finished it.
I recall you reading it, and I recall like flipping through it or maybe reading like the first issue and then never going beyond that. But you had me at mer people.
Yep.
I'm sold.
I figured I would, yeah.
And that it's dark, so yeah.
It's real good. But I would love to see a kind of survival horror
Yes.
I envision in my head actually kind of a 2-stage game where the first part of the game is very much Resident Evil but underwater, and the second stage being more of like an open world, almost like a Days Gone but with fish monsters kind of thing. Ooh. Just this big open world game, but most of it's like all water because the world's kind of flooded and everything's underwater now. But
dude, that would be so cool. And there are very few things that still fill me with that childlike wonder.
Something big under the water.
The ocean and like what could be down there and the things that maybe we haven't discovered yet.
For you it's wonder. For me it's like primal terror. Like
I mean it is a little scary, but it's like exciting. And you know you want to adventure. I feel like, you know, I live off of the water, so I have like a strong attachment and I love mermaids and stuff. I think that would be really, really cool to see that, but it still fills me, like every time I look at the water or I'm at the beach, it fills me with wonder. And I feel like that, like that excitement, that childlike excitement, because I feel like there's so much left that we don't know, you know?
I'll take it.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
I need to read that. Yeah, I need to read that. Put that on my list because I need to read that.
Okay.
I still need to get around to all of the Spider-Man comics that everybody recommended me.
There's a lot of them.
That was a long time ago. Thank you very much again for those who recommended. I haven't forgotten. I have them on my list. I am going to pick them up. But yeah, that'd be really cool. Okay. I'm gonna try to go for something less obvious.
Okay.
Even though it was really good and I really loved it. Watchmen.
Hey, that was also a video game.
Was it?
It was terrible. So go on.
Okay. Did it get the bat treatment?
No, it didn't get the bat treatment. No,
okay.
It was not good.
I feel like Watchmen would be a really cool video game, and I dare say a really cool MMO.
This is actually a good time for it because they are making that series.
Truly.
Yeah.
Who watches The Watchmen?
Yeah, me. Quite often. It was a very good movie.
I think that would be. Sorry, I spit all over you.
Before Zack Snyder lost his mind.
I think that would be a really excellent video game if they did it right. You know, like we were talking about earlier, a lot of video games that are based on movies are kind of an afterthought and just to kind of accompany the movie and not really be anything extravagant. So I feel like the bat treatment would be amazing.
I like it. Okay. All right. So this one you were going to do, and I told you not to because it's mine and you can't have it. Iron Man.
I put that on my list anyway.
I told you not to do it.
You said I could have it.
Okay, well, we'll share it then.
Okay, we'll share
it. There's been Iron Man games. They were okay. I want a really good Iron Man game with some glory. Like, I want lots of... Like, the coolest thing about Iron Man, obviously, is not Tony Stark. No one cares about Tony Stark. Everyone cares about the suit.
I mean, I think Tony Stark is pretty cool.
Screw him. Robots. I want an Iron Man game that plays like Armored Core, where half the game is setting up your suit, putting on different upgrades and powers, and I mean... Come on, guys. This is me here. I mean,
yeah. Dude, and you could change out the suits?
Yes. Like
so
cycle
rad.
through different bits. Like, and the other games kind of had that, but I want like a big, long, like research tree where as you go, you can unlock different parts and components and just go nuts with it. I want Armored Core, but Iron Man. That's what I want.
Dude, that would be pretty awesome.
Where like half of your game is spent building your suit.
That sounds really in depth. I wonder if people would like that. I mean, I think people would like that, especially right now, because of I haven't seen Endgame, but because you already know.
Spoilers: Iron Man dies. Haha. It's been a couple weeks now.
It has, but you already know that certain Marvel movies are not our jam, are not my jam, and certain ones are. I have always loved Iron Man. And I'm really happy. I'm sad that it had to end the way that I heard it did, but
Downey was quite done, and he's richer than God now, so he doesn't have to do it anymore.
This is so true. I know that he's been trying to get out of the game for a while.
Yeah.
So good for him, and if he's happy with the way that he's exiting, then that's awesome, you know. But I'm really happy too. Right now would be the perfect time because people are starting. I feel like for a while it was just like Iron Man, and then people preferred Thor and the Hulk and all those other characters. So I'm glad that Iron Man seems to be getting, a lot of recognition, a lot more.
A lot of Iron love.
Because they kind of pushed him aside, I think.
Yeah.
Even though he's really, really cool. Doc Strange is really, really cool too.
Doc Strange.
Yeah, I think a Doctor Strange video game would be amazing. I kind of threw that in there. That was not on my list, but that would be really cool. I really, really enjoyed that movie. Benedict Cumberbatch is an amazing actor.
He got a lot better. I thought the Doctor Strange movie itself was kind of meh. But
really?
Yeah.
I loved it.
It was meh.
I loved it.
It wasn't bad. It was actually, I don't like a lot of the Marvel movies. That was one of the ones I didn't dislike, so.
Yeah.
There we go.
I really liked that one, and I love all the Iron Mans.
I get so tired of
I get it.
It's just all like all the, and this just sounds like it's like all the CG and all the blah, blah, blah.
Yes. And that was for a while. Like, it took me a really long time, even though you and I, we've always been like DC kids, right?
Yep.
I mean, well, you read Marvel when you were a kid. I never really read anything Marvel. I was introduced to Marvel through movies, and then like I may have picked up an issue or two, but that's why I reached out for like suggestions. I've always read DC or Vertigo. Well,
edgy girl.
you know,
so edgy.
I've done Dark Horse, which Marvel
which
owns.
is Marvel's Vertigo.
Yes, which is Marvel's Vertigo. And then there are certain Marvel things like Marvel published Wizard of Oz, which is a fantastic comic, and Scotty Young is an amazing artist. So check that out if you haven't. But you know.
Oh, by the way, did I make it clear
this
this isn't just superhero games? Because The Wake is definitely not a superhero comic.
Oh, yeah.
It's a comic book
No,
game.
you said comic books.
Okay, I'm trying to...
You said we were going to do superheroes, but we also included that to include comics.
Specifically, because a couple... Let's see. that one's a superhero, I guess. That one's... Okay, so one more of mine is definitely not a superhero. Well, I mean, I guess technically you could think of it as, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. You know, I kind of forgot where I was going with that story, but yeah, I think I feel like, that may be why you have a little bit of like, okay, it's good, but I'm done. Fatigue, yes.
Cape
because
fatigue,
you didn't, you know, we've always been more DC as far as comic books
even
go.
DC though, I'm good. Like if they could just stop. Like Shazam was fine, but stop. Like, just calm
Shazam
down,
was
guys.
great.
Yeah, but stop.
I really enjoyed it.
Wait, like, if there wasn't a single other superhero movie for the next year, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I can
like,
definitely
I can
understand.
wait.
You know, I held off. I think I said this. I think I haven't seen Justice League. We saw Aquaman not too long ago, and I was really happy with that. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've kind of pushed off watching Justice League, and I still haven't seen Wonder Woman, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because Wonder Woman is awesome, and Gal Gadot, she's just so
hot.
fine.
I think, yeah.
Whew, she is. I was gonna say she is handsome, but she is.
She's a handsome woman.
She is a fit bird.
She's like Sigourney Weaver. She is unique and beautiful. Would you want to give us your next game, Brit?
Okay.
Since I jacked your Iron Man.
You jacked Iron Man, and then I've already kind of mentioned Zatanna. Mentioned
and
Watchmen.
Suddenly your list is shorter than mine.
No, son. Yeah, it is. I put The Spirit.
Oh my God.
Don't hate.
This is for Muffin.
Yes, for Muffin.
That movie is so awful. And see, that movie's good cheesy.
Yeah.
That movie's glorious cheese right there.
I was talking to somebody at Comicpalooza because I worked Comicpalooza. And they were just, and we started talking about different heroes, and I had told a fellow artist, I was like, hey, I would love to see The Spirit in your style. Like, maybe I could commission you to do The Spirit. And he actually mentioned to me, like, oh God, I hated that movie. And I'm like, what? I loved it. I know a lot of people hated that movie, but I loved it. I thought it was the right amount of cheesy, the right amount of weird, and the guy who plays Denny is just awesome.
It helps that I went into it with, like, rock bottom expectations. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, if you were a fan of the comic, I can see this movie, you just hating this movie to death.
I mean, it's a Will Eisner. It's cheesy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that movie was a unique kind of, like, the octopus is dressed up as a Nazi.
Yeah, that's
what is going on?
Sammy J. But you know what? Sammy J does whatever Sammy J wants to do.
Another actor with not a whole lot of range. He plays Samuel Jackson plays Samuel L. Jackson, and people pay him to do it.
If he wants a purple lightsaber, damn it, he gets one.
Pretty much. But yeah, The Spirit would be glorious.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. And I've always been a fan of like murder mysteries and detective stories.
Which is the only reason why you're stomaching that awful adaptation of Lucifer.
It is not awful. It's fantastic. But yes, I love, Miss Fisher's murder mystery is addictive as well. But
give me this,
detective stories.
It might be a good show, but it's an awful adaptation.
Okay, but I told you this earlier. Like, yes, it is wildly different from the comic book. Yeah, though I feel like there are tiny pieces that they do use, but it is loosely based.
Lucifer, and he owns a club named Lux. That's it.
I mean, there are other things like the baby, and
potentially
like
the baby,
and blah blah. But I feel like it's loosely based off of that. Okay, loosely, but it is still. Even though the comic book, do I think the comic book is better? Yes, but do I love the show? Yes.
Okay, fine.
And the actors are great. They really bring the story together, and I just love detective stuff. So yeah.
Great.
I think that's why I've always loved Batman too. He was my first love.
Yes, he's the world's greatest detective.
He is.
Okay, so my next one, you might have heard of this comic, Brit. I don't know. Exo Manowar.
No,
No,
I never have.
Okay, this was brought back in a big way a couple of years back, but I love this, and there was a game. There was a game for this on the Saturn, and I think PS1 with Iron Man. It was Iron Man and Exo Manowar in like heavy metal or something. It wasn't particularly great.
Oh, that's cool.
But Exo Manowar, so for a brief refresher, is Pleath is he's a goth, not like you, Brittany, but like a goth, like from like Roman times, so like a barbarian, pretty much.
Yes.
Who was abducted by aliens and then led a revolt and found a suit of sentient power armor. And then the comic goes on from there. Like, you guys see the game here? I see the game here. It's awesome. And the comic also has this glorious character called Ninjak, which is this really awesome, like, think Raiden from Metal Gear, and that's sort of what he is.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. I think it's Image Comics does it. The same guys who did is it Bloodshot, I think, but just like really over the top action, nice artwork. It'd be a really good game. Just lots of crazy. I mean, it's a barbarian. If Conan got an Iron Man suit,
dude, that would be
that's
amazing.
kind of what this is.
That actually sounds really cool.
That's sort of where we got with that. Like, oh, okay, sure, I'll take my money, enjoy. But yeah,
really cool.
I'll leave that there. Go on.
Okay. So, I'm gonna throw these two together because they were just like kind of afterthoughts that I thought would be really, really cool.
Okay.
I really do enjoy the comic iZombie. And I really love the show. Yes, it is also different.
Not as different, but yes.
But I love the show, yes. And you know, another thing in defense of Lucifer, I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
But Tom Ellis and Lauren German, they are amazing actors, and their chemistry is so good it hurts.
So doesn't look like David Bowie, though.
Yeah, and they make fun of that in an episode, which I really enjoy.
Told me.
Anyway, but yes, I do love the TV show iZombie is really cool. I think that would make that concept would make a really cool video game.
What kind?
Whether they pull from the comic book or the show, I think either one would make a really cool video game. Maybe just like a sandbox hack and slash.
Ooh, okay.
I think that could
Just
work,
go eat
right?
people.
And then of course she has the ability to kind of go like all zombie and powerful mode. Of course she can't let it go too far.
Yeah. You could use that really awesome concept from that game that was regrettably not good. Remember Me. Do you remember Me?
No.
Coincidentally, nobody else does.
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah. That game,
It was like a cyberpunk.
unfortunately, was not very good, but that
Right?
concept was great. Yeah, it very
like
much
a
was.
cyberpunk
Yes.
world. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think
That would be cool
really
because
cool.
at least in the show, when she eats people's brains, she like has their memories and stuff.
And she has visions, and
Yep.
she kind of carries or gets their
which is
traits.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh man,
I'll give you that. That was pretty funny.
A lot of comedic moments. And then lastly, I would love to see a Bat Family game like Batwoman.
Oh, did you skip on to the next one already?
Yeah.
Okay, I still have
said I was gonna throw
two.
them
I still have two
together.
to go.
I know, but lastly for me. Like, I would really love to see other Bat Family members. I would love to see a Batwoman game. I think that would be rad.
Batwoman's awesome.
Batwoman is amazing. Or even Batgirl. That would be really cool. Or Birds of Prey. Dude, that would be amazing. But Batwoman, I think that would make a really cool video game. I think you could do a lot with that.
I'll take it. Cool. All right, so I actually added to my list because I knew you were going to... Once I knew you were doing this, I went nuts. So this one on here, I actually put on here assuming you were going to have it, but you didn't.
Wow.
A good Aquaman game?
Okay, I was going to put it on there, but I felt that it was too predictable.
Yeah.
So,
But I put it on there because there's an Aquaman game out there, and if you haven't played it, don't. Don't do it. It's not good. It's a whole lot of not good.
Oh, yeah.
But I would love there to be an Aquaman game where, we've got good underwater controls. It's possible. Give me a good Aquaman game.
I think that would be
Give
really
Aquaman
cool.
the bat treatment.
Yes.
I know he's an idiot. Like,
He is
especially in
not.
that movie, he's such an idiot.
Oh, in the movie,
he's
yeah.
such a chump. But I am actually a huge proponent of Aquaman just because he's such a cool idea of this guy. Because just by virtue of him living on the bottom of the ocean, he would have so many. Mind you, also by virtue of living on the bottom of the ocean, technically, when he comes to the surface, his head should explode. But we won't talk about that too much.
No. He's made of tougher
I know. It's
stuff.
I just imagine like Aquaman's eyes popping out of his head.
Ew,
and like, well, so
that'd
much
be-
for that comic book. Okay, kids,
be
move
horrifying.
on. Yep. But we'll skip past that one quickly.
I would love the Hawks. I think, like Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be pretty legit.
That'd be pretty spiffy. I mean, no one likes them or remembers them, but
I don't know what you could do with that. I've always cared for them as well. And I feel like because of that...
They're just like angrier Batman.
Yeah.
With less clothing. It's weird. And a battle axe.
Less clothing.
He has like those goofy hawk suspenders that give him strength.
I think that'd be cool,
That's
though.
so weird. It's like, I remember that character. So I don't know if the current one, but so Hawkman and Hawkgirl wear these Thanagarian, right? This magical metal
It's
suspenders.
In
It's the suspenders and in the wings, and it gives them super strength. I'm like, why does suspenders give you super strength? It's weird.
it's what the wings
It's like a
are made out
harness.
of.
Yes,
yeah.
I know. So my last one on here, and this is, it could be construed as a case of Matt breaking his own rules again, but I'm going to say it's not. Devilman. Because that's a comic.
Okay,
It's a
okay.
Japanese comic. I don't care.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, it is still a comic.
Yep.
You didn't say American only.
I did not, indeed. There is a Devilman game actually on PS1, and it's a pretty bad beat 'em up. But I would really enjoy a modern take on Devilman. You know, Crybaby was a huge success. And I would love just a Go Nagai verse game. I mean, if you want to throw in Mazinger in there, I'm not gonna complain.
You know, I think that could actually work, and that would be really cool and brightly colored, and I would be happy.
That'd be another game that you could give Devil May Cry or Platinum Games.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, just lets you just transform in there. You know, you could have Devil Lady in there if you want. Also, that would be so awesome. Just
I would play that.
Yep. But
Excuse me.
But that's the last one on my list, kid.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to share with the ladies and gentlemen?
Nope, I am good.
Well, glorious. Well, I am going to take some NyQuil and go to bed, and then hopefully try to get the show up here the next day. But once again, apologies for the show being
Excuse me.
late.
You're getting me sick. No.
Sorry. Run away, Brittany. Run away. We're all choking to death here, but best show ever. Oh, God. But yeah, thank you very much for listening. We didn't
thank
have a
you.
question
Thank
of the
you.
show, did we?
We didn't.
We didn't.
We didn't think of one.
Let's turn this around. So you guys, comic book game that we
Yes.
didn't mention. What do you guys want to see? I mean, it can be like if you say
Anything.
want a good X-Men game that isn't the arcade game, because I can't think of like a couple of like the Wolverine games were okay, but otherwise,
A Dark Phoenix one would be really cool.
yeah. I
I've
suppose
always
so.
thought Dark Phoenix was really
Just because
cool.
she's edgy, she's like the
She's
edgy
just pretty.
Phoenix.
She's pretty.
That's you. It's like, oh, I love this person because it's got Satan in it.
Oh, God, stop. Have you seen my tattoo?
Yes, I have. Thank you very much. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here then, guys.
Yes.
But yeah,
Thank you so much for listening.
send us the answer to your question, podcast at gameovervideogames.com. If you didn't know that was the email address for our podcast, if you wish to email us about Keanu Reeves
Being amazing, then yes.
and being, he of little range.
He is not typecast. He does not have little range.
I
Let's
didn't
go
say
see
I
John
didn't,
Wick
I
right
didn't
now.
I didn't say he was typecast. I said he had little range because whatever.
I think he has a lot of range.
We're leaving. Thank you very much for listening. Comment, like,
Yay.
subscribe, all that jazz. Send to me well wishes because I'm getting pneumonia. Yeah, I'm Matt.
I'm Brit.
We're out of here. See you next time on Game Overcast. Ta ta.
Bye.
Ta ta.